Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Man, this is a beautiful picture. Look at that beach. You know about these drop-offs, right? If there's sharks around, you get anywhere near a drop-off and you start swimming, there's a good chance that somebody's going to be nibbling at your toe. It looks like they got a net out here. This is Vietnam. It's gorgeous looking, by the way. Skip back to the Vietnam dong. I haven't done a video on the dong here in a while. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And you know I really do appreciate that. Right now is a good time to be buying gold and silver. If you haven't been paying attention on what's going on around the world, then you're napping on the job, Bob. Get out there and buy gold and silver. Yeah, you can actually physically hold it and own it in your house. Go to our friends over there at Money Metals. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. Vietnam is eyeing March 15th for reopening to tourism. So this is a good thing, because one of the biggest money makers for Vietnam is tourism. So when they close it down, of course, it has a pretty good effect on the economy. They are eyeballing the 15th of March to reopen. This is going to help Vietnam out in a big way. So congrats to Vietnam, who is opening on the 15th of March. Vietnam is definitely one of these places, if you have a chance to go visit, I highly recommend it. Heck, most of you guys got trillions of dollars of Vietnam dong. Take it over and spend some of it, man. Seriously. So the East Asia Forum talks about the prospects and challenges for Vietnam's economy in 2022. Vietnam was the economic star in 2020. Remember, we spoke about that many times. Vietnam was number one, if not in the top two, as far as economies in 2020 in dealing with the RONA, as it managed to control the RONA pandemic while maintaining one of the highest growth rates in the world. Makes you wonder why that, Vietnam dong didn't go up in value. While GDP growth was only about 3%, about half of its normal 6 to 7% growth rate, most countries face failing levels of output, not Vietnam. But the government, perhaps confident that its test, track, and quarantine measures could continue to control the RONA, was slow in procuring vaccines. When the Delta variant provided a more transmissible and not so easily managed, there was a scramble to procure vaccines. The effort became more important after Omicron emerged, which things are whatever. Anyways, this is as a result, 2021 was a tough year. So that's something else we talked about. I said, look, 2020 was a great year, but they were really hurting in 2021. So 2021 was a tough year, as shutdowns made life difficult and GDP slowed to 2.6%. Increase in supplies of vaccines eventually allowed more normal activities in the last few months of 2021. Vietnam's GDP shrank to 6% in the third quarter, but we spoke about this too in the video. In the fourth quarter of 2021, we saw a huge bounce back for Vietnam. Obviously, a great economy, a strong economy does what? Strengthens your currency. The trade surplus, a source of past tensions with the United States, halved in 2021 to a modest $4 billion. The normal exchange rate of the Vietnam dong against the US dollar modestly appreciated, and foreign exchange reserves grew to 4 months in imports. Inflation was less than 2%. So we knew that their dollar was gaining appreciation against the US dollar. They got scolded. They got a slap on the hand because we got the wrong administration in there to do anything about it. So because of that, they just made some slight adjustments. And here we are back to square one with Vietnam. The big question now is if these developments will tarnish Vietnam's hard-won reputation as a reliable supplier and alternative to China for manufactured exports. Despite factory closures, exports rose 19% in 2021 to an astonishing $336 billion US, while GDP was only $271 billion in 2020, and grows only slightly in 2021. The high level of foreign direct investments did not grow nor shrink much. The rapid increase in vaccines, about 60% fully vaccinated by early 2022, suggests that the factory closures will be modest in 2022. But labor, well, I don't know about that now, because it seems to me like all of a sudden nobody talks about the Rona, as if it just fell off the face of the earth. Oh, we got a new issue now. Yeah, Ukraine. It says, but labor shortage may be more of a problem as workers fear another round of factory closures and travel restrictions. There were troubles hiring even in 2019 as labor forces growth slowed. That's the same everywhere. Everywhere. Because then they have an excuse to push you on universal basic income, which we don't want. Global pressures to reduce risk and increase resilience in supply chains are another headwind. While the momentum of the past FDI commitments will keep export growth high in 2022, there are questions about later years. It says right here that one side effects of Vietnam's rapid export growth has been a lag in domestic value added in exports. Much of the work has been simply assembly rather than development, a dense network of supplier industries that would make the FDI sticker. As wages rise and labor supplies tighten, the progress in this area has come from the FDI suppliers following their mother firms, not locally owned firms. So again, this is one of the things I talked about when it comes to Iraqi dinar. As your currency becomes stronger and it goes up in value, it starts affecting the cheap labor rate there. In other words, the labor starts to become more expensive, and then it's less desirable for investment companies. They want the cheap labor like they do in China and Vietnam. So it goes down here and says prospects for 2022 are good. As factories and services approach normal, there will be a jump in output, much as China had in early 2021. Most projections are 6 to 7% in real GDP growth. Gee, where have we heard those numbers before? Oh yeah, the Iraqi dinar. So both the Vietnam dong and Iraqi dinar are looking at some really healthy GDP growth. That's what they need to strengthen their currencies. Tourism should start recovery from its over 95% decline from 2019. Yikes, man. Especially for countries that really rely on tourism. That's a huge hit to the pockets. That tourism is also going to help Iraq get back on their feet. Exports should grow about 15%, and the trade balance will remain modestly positive. Inflation will remain low, and the dong will continue to appreciate slightly against the US dollar. Did you hear that? Let me go ahead and repeat that. The dong will continue to appreciate slightly against the US dollar. In other words, gain in value. Yes. This projection assumes that China's border closure will ease, allowing more normal trade flows than in 2021. The economic relations with the United States have improved. The continuing crackdown on independent journalism and online commentary may create tensions. This could influence future FDI flows and push Vietnam to diversify from its reliance on simple assembly FDI. A trend caused by labor shortages and rise in wages. It could also limit the inflow of high-tech FDI that would allow Vietnam to transform its economy into an industry 4.0 and improve productivity. So there you have it, a prediction that the Vietnam dong will continue to absolutely appreciate in value against the United States dollar. This is what we want to see. This is what we're hoping for. Just like the Iraqi dinar, I know everybody wants this magical RI or RV to take place. We all do. But there are other things that we can keep an eye on that let us know that the investment that we're holding on to will appreciate and gain in value against the US dollar. and by doing so, making your investment pay off. Anyways, that's it for now. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.